Maria, hi.
Hi.
Do you mind if we ask you a few questions?
Of course, come on in.
Awesome.
How would you define yourself in 3 words?
Motivational, no nonsense, and beast mode.
What's your favorite part about your job?
Definitely the people.
What's one thing people don't know about you?
I'm a good singer.
What's your best advice for women in STEM?
Know your worth. Your voice matters. Unconscious bias does exist. And just aim for the stars.
What's the most exciting thing you're working on at the moment?
Building out our second Calgary facility, Cal 2, and getting it operationally ready for launch.
What led you to this career?
The first opportunity that came along for a job in Montreal as an operations engineer, data center engineer, I jumped to the opportunity, and next thing you know, 20 years, I'm still in that career.
What is something you feel very passionate about?
Relationships,
What's your favorite holiday?
Christmas.
What's one talent you wish you had?
I would have loved to have been a talented painter, but I'm not.
Do you prefer working with silence or with background noise?
Background noise,
What's a pet peeve of yours?
people slurping.
What's your best advice for a crisis situation at work?
Stay calm, follow process, and look for a quick resolve.
How many languages do you speak?
3 languages, Greek being my mother tongue, French and English.
What are 3 things you can't live without?
Love, caffeine, and my mobile phone.
Maria, thank you so much for talking with us. One last question. What's the best part about eStruxture?
People being themselves at the office and being recognized for who they are and not for what they do, and that every idea matters.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Probably later in the afternoon. but
Hi,
that's
Mary.
Okay. What's up?
Hi, do you mind if we ask you a few questions?
You have 2 minutes before my next meeting.
How has working at eStruxture changed you?
It gave me a better understanding of the infrastructure side of the business, how things are built in a certain way.
What's your favorite restaurant in town?
No favorite restaurant. I have my go-to for any specific dish.
What's one instance where your colleagues really had your back?
But they have my back every single day.
What's your favorite piece of swag?
The eStruxture hoodies.
If you could snap your fingers and become an expert in something, what would it be?
Home renovation.
What is your most used emoji?
LOL.
What is one thing people don't know about you?
I'm an introvert.
How many languages do you speak?
3.
What are 3 things you couldn't live without?
My cell, my car, my lip balm.
All right, and one last question. What's the best part about eStruxture?
Me.
All right, thank you so much, Mary. Hi, Ariane.
Oh, hi.
You mind if we ask you a few questions?
No, come in. Sure.
What's an interesting fact about you as a child?
Oh, I took dance lessons actually from the age of 5 to 25, hip hop dance.
What's your best advice for women in STEM?
Oh, to do it anyway.
What's your favorite part about working with customers?
Having a personalized service and building the partnership.
What's your best advice for a crisis situation at work?
You should stop, plan your resolution steps, and then follow them one by one.
Why would you recommend eStruxture to a company looking for a data center?
Because eStruxture is super agile. Smaller, big needs, we can make it work.
What led you to this career?
A mix of hard work, opportunities, and great mentors.
Do you prefer Zoom meetings or in-person meetings?
In-person meetings.
What's the most Canadian thing you can think of?
Beaver and a maple leaf.
What do you do to decompress after work?
I play in my garden. I swim in my pool.
What's your dream vacation?
French Polynesia.
What's the most exciting thing about the data center industry?
The fact that it's fairly new, so we are all the builders.
What's the best form of spreading team recognition at work?
Organizing a great party.
How many languages do you speak?
3. French, Spanish, English.
How would your coworkers describe you?
As a responsive person.
What's one thing people don't know about you?
They don't know that I did a lot of backpack traveling in South America.
That's awesome. One last question, Ariane. What's the best part about working at eStruxture?
The people, 100%.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Hey, Jamil.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. You mind if we ask you a few questions?
Sure, go ahead.
What is one thing that surprised you about working at eStruxture?
The positive attitude, tackling projects.
What's your best advice for a new coworker at eStruxture?
Speak to the people on the floor.
If you could switch lives with one person for a day, who would it be?
The groundhog outside in Teal 2.
What's your definition of a good day at work?
A day where I'm not getting any Slack messages.
What's the most interesting part about your job?
That I get to take knowledge from other departments.
What advice would you give yourself when you were starting out in your career?
And to not stress about not knowing information.
What's your go-to Tim Hortons order?
Black coffee.
What was your favorite class in high school?
English literature.
What was your favorite class in university?
Data structures and operators.
What is your earliest memory of teamwork?
The implementation of the identity with Kevin.
Who's your favorite music artist?
Erica Badu.
What's one thing people don't know about you?
That I don't like sweets or candy.
How many languages do you speak?
2 languages, English and French.
Awesome. All right, Jamil, one last question. What's the best part about working at eStruxture?
That just doing my job brings a positive attitude.
Thank you so much.
Hi, Lynn.
Hi.
You mind if we ask you a few questions?
Sure.
What's the most challenging part about leading the finance department?
A lot of our tasks are time sensitive.
What's the biggest misconception people have about your position?
That finance people are boring people.
What was your first job?
My first job was cashier at Burger King.
Describe your team in 3 words.
Fun, dedicated, and knowledgeable.
What has changed about the data center industry?
A lot of women have joined and they're working in key positions.
How would you describe the workplace culture at eStruxture?
Inclusivity.
How would you describe what you do to a 5-year-old?
I count money and I add numbers all day.
If you could have dinner with any person from history, who would it be?
I would be Nelson Mandela.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Ariane, which is north of Laval.
What is something you feel very passionate about?
Anything food related. So cooking, eating, and recipe books.
What's one thing people don't know about you?
What you see is what you get.
What's your biggest strength?
Perseverance.
What's your biggest weakness?
I can be impatient.
How many languages do you speak?
I speak 2, so French and English.
What's the best part about eStruxture?
I love the people I work with.
All right, Lynn, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Hey, Laurent. Mind if we ask you a few questions?
Hey, go ahead.
What's the best team lunch order?
Tacos.
What's your favorite thing about your team?
How much they care for one another.
What's the most challenging part about managing our MTL2 facility?
Finding new ways to improve our customer experience.
The Habs or the Maple Leaves?
Hats.
What's the first thing you do when you get to work?
I check my building monitoring system for alarms.
What did you want to be when you grew up?
Happy.
Who's your favorite author?
James S.A. Corey.
What's your favorite challenge at work?
I love them all.
What is your proudest accomplishment at work?
Being part of the best operations team in North America.
What's the best part about working in the data center industry?
We get to do a lot of cool things every day.
Do you like to keep background noise or do you prefer to work in silence?
I can't work without a podcast behind me.
What's your best tip for keeping productive at work?
You've got to find a way to do it for yourself.
What's the best way to organize your workload?
Start early.
How many languages do you speak?
French and English.
What's one thing people don't know about you?
I'm a great cook.
Awesome. Thank you, Laurent. One last question before we go. What's the best part about eStruxture?
Oh, definitely the people.
All right. Thank you so much.